Hi and welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about the power of the Tsunami Content Challenge and why pushing yourself creates massive momentum. My name is Adina. I'm a full-time contentpreneur and software developer. Over the years, I've built several 6- and 7-figure digital businesses using a content-driven business model, specifically written content. I built a lot of blogs for myself and for clients and built a lot of businesses using written content specifically. And I love to challenge myself. If you know me, you know that I love to challenge myself. If you've been watching me on Medium, reading my content on Medium specifically, and even my blog, you'll know that I love to challenge myself. It's something that I love to do. And I always like to announce my challenges. I'm currently doing a 500 post challenge across several platforms over the next 30 days. And I'm currently on day 19 as I create this piece. And like I said, it's going to be about the Tsunami Content Challenge. Before we get into it, you can subscribe, you can hit that notification bell if you're interested in learning about building a digital product business, specifically building a digital product business up to $10,000 a month and more in 90 days. I have a challenge in the description as well for the 90-day accelerator program to build a digital business to 10K a month and more within 90 days. So let's get into it. There's something wild that happens when you decide to go all in. Not halfway, not when I have time, not when I feel ready, now. Because, if you half-ass things, and what I mean by that is you decide you're going to do a challenge and you kind of go halfway and go, I'm going to do it. And then you sort of slow down and you speed up and you slow. What happens when you're in the middle? You get squished. I think I got that from the Karate Kid movie, right? I think it was Mr. Miyagi who said that. You're going to either choose one thing or the other. Don't do anything or do something. You can't go halfway. You can't serve two masters. You have to pick something. Pick a side. You're going to go all in or you're not going to do anything at all. When you commit to showing up intentionally, consistently, and relentlessly, everything in your business starts to shift. I'm telling you this from my own experience because I have built 6- and 7-figure digital businesses. And when things really shifted for me, when it came to my digital product business anyway, was when I started posting consistently on medium.com. Prior to that, I was blogging on my own platform and I had a content writing business, writing for clients and all of that. And even my clients said that when we started doing daily posts on the blogs for a period of time, they saw massive growth and they built momentum, and it helped them to understand what to post and what to double down on because they got enough data in a short period of time. Okay. So the Tsunami Challenge is, it sounds what, it is what it is. The Tsunami Challenge, it starts and it builds up and then it completely erupts. And what you will find with this type of challenge is that you start posting and you start seeing a dip in your views and you start feeling like, oh, this is a bit pointless. But as time goes on, it's going to start to pick up. You're going to see that compound effect. And you're going to start seeing old videos and old articles gain traction as well. So anyway, the Tsunami Content Challenge is about intentionally, consistently, and relentlessly showing up. That's what it's about. It's 30 days of strategic creation across 2 platforms designed to help you flood your ecosystem with aligned, authentic, and high-performing content. But this isn't just about posting more. It's about becoming the kind of creator who builds data, rhythm, and confidence quickly. I believe that the universe, God, the creator, the divine source, divine power, he loves speed. I believe this because when you actually have an idea and you act on that idea swiftly, trust and do believe that thing gains momentum quickly when you start to do the thing that you need to do in order to move the needle. You speak to any creative and they'll talk to you about a specific moment that things took off. And you think, well, if this person had an overnight success, but often they haven't had an overnight success. They've had thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours prior to that of practice because they've been putting out stuff. They've been putting out whatever it is, music, poems, art. And then that one thing that blows up is the one thing that people think, oh, it's the overnight success. But often it's not an overnight success. Often it is an accumulation of months and months or even years of dedication and going all in. Okay? The hidden power of challenging yourself. There's a reason why challenges work so well. They compress time. They collapse time. When you challenge yourself, you stop waiting for someday. You create urgency. That urgency sharpens focus. And it forces you to build systems that make content creation sustainable. You stop obsessing over perfection and you start prioritizing momentum. You know, inside a challenge, something fascinating happens psychologically. What happens is your brain begins to associate inconsistency with identity. And you start to see yourself as a creator, not just someone who posts sometimes, but someone who produces with purpose. That identity shift is where the magic happens. I love this phrase. That identity shift is where the magic happens. If you're not getting goosebumps hearing that, then I don't know, you must be a robot. That identity shift is where the magic happens. When you shift identity, you go from being someone who is just a wallflower, someone who creates sometimes, who is scared of using the word creator because they think people are going to say, you're not a content creator. You're not Mr. Beast. You're not, Kai Cenat. You're not any of these people. So who do you think you are? You are a creator if you believe you are, if you say you are, and if you create. If you create every 6 months, then nah. But if you step into the identity of that person who is a creator and you actually see it as a job, when you're doing a challenge, it becomes like a job. And it doesn't become like a job in the way where it's like, oh my goodness, this is just too stressful and too tedious. I don't feel like going to work today. I would rather be doing something else kind of job. It becomes your identity, but it becomes your identity in such a purposeful way that you almost become addicted to the craft of creating. And in a sense, if you are a creator, you are a master manifestor, believe it or not. Because if you're creating consistently, you're putting out content consistently, you're creating your reality. Just think about it. The very words create or content and creator together, creator. When you are a creator, you're a creative, you're someone who creates every day or on a regular basis, you're essentially creating your own reality. You are creating your own reality. So when you decide to do a challenge and you stick with it, you've done something so powerful. So what makes this challenge different? Most people think posting daily is about visibility. And visibility is part of it, sure. But the real win is the data that you get from this. In 30 days of posting across 2 platforms, you gather enough data to understand what your audience actually cares about, what formats convert best for your message, what topics magnetize engagement and sales. So when you know that, your next 90 days become effortless, you stop guessing and you start scaling. And this is what I've done for years to sell 7 figures in digital products using written content. Every big breakthrough I've had came after a challenge that forced me to create faster, smarter, and louder. So the reason why I'm making this piece is because I have set up something called the Tsunami Content Challenge. I've actually got a Tsunami Content Challenge. It's a 30-day challenge that starts on November 1st. And in the Tsunami Content Challenge, we don't just post every day. We build systems that make content creation a lifestyle, not a sprint. So you'll get a 30-day roadmap tailored for your top 2 platforms, a daily content system to compound ideas without burning out, live workshops where we plan and refine your strategy, weekly coaching calls to keep your momentum on track, a private creator circle for accountability and support, and 50 plug-and-play content prompts to attract buyers, not just followers. So by the end, you'll have 60 pieces of content, a proven ecosystem, and crystal clear insights about what works for you, not just what is trending. Okay? And here are the real benefits of challenging yourself. Number 1 is you build unshakable discipline. A challenge forces consistency, and that consistency turns into clarity, and clarity turns into cash over time. Trust and believe, I know what I'm talking about here. I remember when I had my first $59,000 month on Gumroad, and I was in Ghana at the time, and I looked at the screen and it said $59,344. And I was like, this must be a joke. And I tell you why I had this massive breakthrough was because I was posting every day on Gumroad on the blogging section and every single day on Medium, no days off. Even on the weekends, I was posting and I was going all in. Number 2 is you collapse time. What would normally take 6 months to figure out, you learn to do in 30 days because you're creating, testing, and improving in real time. You don't have time to think very much. You have to put all your ideas together. You have to pick one and you have to just turn the camera on. Or you have to pick one and you have to turn the mic on. Or you have to pick one and you have to open your laptop and start typing. You don't have time because you have 30 days. And if you waste time, 4 or 5 days have gone past and you've posted nothing. And you've announced the challenge, so you start to look like a fool. Not to say you can't come back on screen or on audio and say, hey, by the way, I didn't get a chance to post, so yeah, I'm gonna catch up with 5 posts. Like, yeah, you can do that. But if you keep doing that, you're going to get so fed up with yourself. You're not going to trust yourself anymore. So to build self-trust, what do you do to build self-trust? You actually keep the promises that you make to yourself. I mentioned this in about how to build unshakable confidence. I made a video about that, about how to build unshakable confidence. It wasn't called that. It was called how to build FU confidence. You learn through action, not theory. So instead of binging more marketing advice, you're applying strategies in the field. That's how you grow, through movement, not just waiting. Next, you create irrefutable data. No more guessing which content might work. You have real proof of what resonates with your people. And that's what's really important. You build an ecosystem that sells for you. The wave you create in those 30 days doesn't stop when the challenge ends. Your content continues to compound, leading to visibility, authority, and consistent digital sales. So the creators who win are the ones who decide to move before they feel ready. They create before they have all the answers. They let action reveal the strategy. And that's what the Tsunami Content Challenge is all about. Creating your own wave instead of waiting for one. And we start this wave on November 1st. So if you're ready to build momentum, sharpen your message, and create the kind of content that changes everything, then sign up to the challenge. I'm going to leave a link in the description for the Tsunami Content Challenge. Okay. I'm also going to leave you a discount code. It's $197 to sign up for the challenge, but I'm going to leave you a discount code for my YouTube people only. And it is for 50% off for this particular challenge for the next 24 hours. So if you want to get 50% off for the next 24 hours, then jump into the challenge. It's going to be a great one starting on November the 1st. And I would love to see you in the challenge. We only have a few spots open for this because we don't want it to be too big. Thank you. Bye.